Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and my craft table. And if you're new here, my name is Jen and I'm really glad to meet you. In honor of World Cardmaking Day, I thought that it would be super fun to play around with a special stitching die of the month that Spellbinders sent over to me to create with. So this is what the die will allow you to create. Just so cute. All the little stitching elements on here. Now, you don't have to stitch with these. Spellbinders has a ton of monthly kits that you could subscribe to. And I am super excited that they are allowing me to show you the stitching die of the month for October 2025. So we have our cute little Rudolph over here. I do want to show you how this works because this is so easy. You do not have to know how to sew to do the stitching. And in fact, you don't have to stitch at all. If you like the die, but you don't want to do the stitching, it still comes out beautiful. I have my little page here. These are the dies that it came with. So I am going to grab some cardstock. I just pulled a bunch of scrap cardstock out of my stash and we're going to start getting things cut out. So I've already picked out the cardstock colors that I want to use with this die. So I'm going to be using black for the nose, the antlers, and the hooves. And then I'm going to be using a light brown for the muzzle. I have a green for the holly leaves, and I have a pink for the ears, the inside of the ears. I have some darker brown for Rudolph himself, so the head and the body. I've got red for the large ball / ornament, and then I have white for the triangular pieces that will go on top of that. And then, of course, I have glitter. I thought it would be fun to have the holly berries and Rudolph's nose and the J and the Y to be cut out of red glitter. I am going to go ahead and get these all die cut, and then I will be right back and we'll start creating. Okay, I've got everything die cut out and I'm just going to show you how these look. So you can see they have these debossed lines and the holes. Now the lines show you where the thread goes. So you can leave them plain like this. You could stitch them. I do have like an extra backing for the red. I went ahead and cut out a sentiment for the front. Now this is from like an add-on die. It says for, and then it has a U in it, and then it's got the little banner. So this was an extra add-on that they also sent over, so I got one of those. I have the joy here, I have the muzzle, and then I have Rudolph. I have these white pieces for stitching. Then I have this black piece here. This is the nose, or I guess, yeah, this is the nose. And I am going to do very limited stitching on camera. I'm just going to show you how it goes, and then I'll finish off camera for the stitching. However, I just wanted to show you all of the pieces. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this is like, it's called Diamant by DMC. This is the same people that put out all those different colors of cross stitch thread that we can get anywhere pretty much. And I've got this gold one here, and then I've got a white one. It's like a white shimmery one here. So I'm just going to show you how these work. I've got my 4 little pieces there. I've got one of my embroidery needles. Now, because this is really thin, shimmery, I'm going to fold my thread in half. Okay, which kind of makes a loop on the end. I'm going to take the loop end and I'm going to stick the loop end in my thread there. Okay, That's much better. And I believe these are size 22 embroidery needles. And the reason why I loop it is because, and let me zoom in for you here. Okay, so here's my piece, all right? So you can go up through the middle, or you can come up through the edge and go down through the middle. So I'm gonna come up through the middle, and I'm gonna go down, and then when I come to the back, I'm gonna put my needle through that loop that I created, and then I'm gonna pull it just like that. And then I can stick my needle underneath that back side, creating another loop, and go through that loop. Okay, and oh, I tightened it too soon, but essentially now I have it knotted. Okay, so then I'm going to come up and go in, and I'm going to come up and go in. And this is what I mean by you do not have to know the first thing about cross stitch, embroidery, needlepoint, sewing, anything. I'm just making some super simple stitches. Okay, and then I'm going to come back here along the back. I'm going to go through that loop that I just made and get that tied off, just making sure everything is nice and tight. Okay, just like that. Put that on my little needle minder there, and then I can trim off that. And then if you want to, you can, if you would like, you can take a piece of washi tape. You don't have to, but you can, just to kind of hold all of those threads together so that they don't, you know, move and come loose. All right. And I definitely could have done a better job on the tightness, but there is one of them. I'm going to stitch the nose and the red in the white, and I'm going to finish stitching these in the gold. And then when I come back, we will put everything together. Okay, I have all of my stitching done. So I have all of these pieces here. I have my red ball and I have my nose. So one thing that I want to do is I am going to take my glue. I'm going to put it on the back of the nose, and I'm going to go ahead and put this down on the muzzle, and I'm going to use quite a bit of glue, mainly so I can capture all of those little bitty extra threads. And then Spellbinders is great about having the little lines where you know things go. So I'm just going to set that down in there, just like so. And I'm gonna, if there's any thread, I'm gonna tuck that in there. And then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep these reverse tweezers here, and I'm just gonna have the tweezers hold this for me while this dries. So kind of like that. And I'm actually going to grab my other pair as well. Okay, so I'm going to just let these tweezers hold on to that right there, just like that. And then I am going to take this ball, and you can see where I've used some of the washi tape back there to help hold some of those. And I'm going to throw some glue on the back of here. And then we're going to put this down on that red ball. And this will just kind of make this a little more sturdy. This red cardstock in particular is quite thin. And so I just cut out the circle without the stitching component. And then I will put this right under there, and I will just let that sit and dry while we work on the rest. Okay, I did not realize that I was not recording. Essentially, what I have done is I'm putting foam adhesive on the back of our little reindeer. Okay, so we got our 110-pound cardstock. We have a blue mat. We have our snowflake pattern paper. We have our ornament here. And on the inside, we have that stick and shine rub-on that we used the deco foil on top of. So that looks great. So we have our little sentiment for the front. We have our joy. So really the last thing for us to do is put on our little reindeer guy. So we'll need a little bit of glue. And I do like to put just a little bit along the foam. That way I have just, you know, a second or two to wiggle it into place. Okay. And that foam catches really nicely. All right. That was the perfect amount of foam. Then we have these. Now there's so much dimension going on. I am just going to glue these flat onto the card base. So we need one here. And then we'll do one on the other side. Let me grab this little friend right here. There we go. How cute. Okay. And then I'm thinking this could go down here. I mean, it could go in the middle. Oh, that's cute too. Oh, I kind of like it in the middle where it kind of just covers all of this. All right. Well, in that case, we need the tiniest pieces of foam tape. I think I will put one on this end. Okay, and then we'll have one on this end. Trim down that little piece down there. Great. And then, okay, the rest will get glue, and everywhere that it touches the ornament, it will adhere, and then where it doesn't, it'll just dry. Okay. That is perfect. All right, well, this was the stitching die of the month from Spellbinders for October 2025. I absolutely think this is so cute. I love all the shimmer and the glitter, and then all of the other colors. Everything is just so cohesive, and I'm super excited to send this to someone in the holidays. I love the little deco foil sentiment that I thought to put on the inside, and this is just fabulous. Don't forget to like this video, and go ahead, put a reindeer emoji down in the comments below and let me know, do you send Christmas cards? And if you do you send regular store-made ones, or do you make handmade Christmas cards to send to your friends and family? All right, my friends, thank you for spending your time with me today, and until I see you in the next card or craft, as always, have an amazing day and happy crafting.
Thank you all so much for watching today. I'm so glad that you can join me at my craft table. If you're not already, I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you'll know when new videos arrive. Have a great day, and as always, happy crafting.